dancing, doing a shimmy, because it's Monday. Monday is my favorite day of the week because the week is in front of us. It's full of possibility. Anything can happen, you guys. It's very exciting. Welcome to Monday. I am Rachel Hollis. I'll be your cruise director today. We are on day 6 of book club. Didn't See That Coming is the new book. And today we are talking about resilience. This feels like a good one for the world that we're all living inside of. And 2020 is wild and pandemic. And I know people are watching from all over the world. So some of you are in quarantine. Some of you are trying to navigate life outside of quarantine. It's wild and it takes a resilient spirit. So today I want to talk about what it means for you to show up with your life, for your life, with a resilient spirit. So let's start. If you guys are joining me in the book, I'll tell you that the resilience chapter starts on page 9. So I want to read you the definition because I love the definition. Resilient means able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. So I want to break this into pieces because when I was writing the book, I was so inspired by this definition because it really is 2 parts. The first part says that if you are resilient, you're able to withstand a difficult condition. And the second part says that if you're resilient, you're able to recover quickly from a difficult condition. So let's talk about the first one, the idea of withstanding something. So all of us will leave 2020 affected by what has happened inside of it. It doesn't matter where you live in the world, nobody is getting out of 2020 unscathed. Like we all are experiencing different pieces of crisis in what's happening in the world around us. But the idea of being able to withstand something, to me, doesn't mean that you ignore it, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt you, but it means that you can stay true to yourself even in the midst of hardship. To withstand something says that no matter what is going on in the world around you, you are going to be firm. You are going to still come out the other side, and you might come out the other side as a different version of you, but you still come out the other side of this thing, whatever it looks like, as you, retaining your energy, retaining your dreams, retaining your hopes for your life. That is what it means to withstand a difficult condition. Now, on the flip side, the other piece of that definition says that you're able to recover quickly. And again, I think we have to be careful here because some people hear that and they're like, oh, I'm supposed to be able to bounce back right away. Like I'm supposed to be able to move through that grief quickly, or I'm supposed to be able to let go of this crisis in a really fast way. But the reality is not that you ignore what has happened, but it's the ability to cling to the life that you want to have, to cling to that truth, to cling to, I said, you're going to come out the other side and you're still going to be yourself. You're able to cling to it enough that you can quickly regain your footing. Now, for me, regaining my footing in a hard situation does not mean that I'm sprinting again. Doesn't even mean that I'm holding pace at maybe what I was before I went through the hard thing. But if you can regain your footing, it just means literally, you guys, that you stand back up. I know that some of you need to hear that right now. You don't have to be charging forward. You don't even have to know where you're going. For some of you, what you need to do today is just to stand back up. To stand back up and go, okay, first step. Because I think we have all been in situations where you couldn't even stand back up, where you couldn't get out of bed, where you couldn't try and show up for your life. So just the fact that you showed up today, just the fact that you're doing what you can do with what you've got, is resilience in action. And the beautiful thing about resilience is the more that you practice it, the better you get at it. So I'm going to read a little bit from the new book. This is Didn't See That Coming. And if you want the book club edition, I'm using the Target version. I mean, you do not have to get the book. You can just listen and take notes. Where am I? Okay, I do believe there are lessons in everything we walk through. I believe that we will either be made better by our trials, our losses, our tragedies, or we will be made worse. There is no in between. Do you want to be made into a better version of yourself because of your dark season? Or do you want to come through as a shell of who you were? Only one person can make that decision for you. If you make the choice to embrace resilience, you will be amazed at the way it strengthens your soul and opens your heart at the same time. So at the end of every chapter of this book, I always say, here are some things that helped me. So all of the work that I do is me just telling you the stuff that worked for me. And if it works for you, awesome. And if it doesn't, at the very least, maybe me explaining to you how I got to that solution will help you figure out how to do the same. So at the end of the resilience chapter, I want to dig into some things that may help you to feel more resilient. The first thing is to be honest with yourself about where you are. Take inventory of yourself and dive in deep. So often, pain and hardship can feel like one big emotion when in reality, it's a complex system of many different feelings, and some are much more painful than others. The easiest way I know of to do this is with a therapist. But if that's not readily available to you, journaling is an incredible way to reveal to yourself what's really going on. The second thing that you can do is look at your scars, not your open wounds. If you want to see how you have learned from the past and how even hard things have made you better, if you want to believe that's true, then look further back. Oftentimes, when I teach about this idea that hardship can be for you, instead of something that's happening to you, people will try and mine their current hardship for lessons. This is infinitely more difficult to do because that current pain, the stuff that you're going through right now, is still painful. It's far easier to look at older things, like stuff you've gone through, scars that you've healed over, things you've worked through with your therapist already, and ask yourself questions like, did that hardship make me better in any way? Am I more empathetic? Do I stick up for myself more because of it? Spend time marinating in all the ways that your pain has helped you, and you'll begin to see new ideas. It's amazing to me that the hard times in my life that I've already mined for goodness still reveal themselves in different ways. The last thing that you could do is imagine the anti-hero. This might sound a bit unexpected coming from someone who's so hard into, I'm so diehard about imagining again and again the best version of yourself. But if that isn't working for you, maybe it would be more powerful to imagine what you don't want to become. Consider what the future looks like for you if you stay on the path you're on and don't make any changes. What kind of person will you be if you allow your bitterness, your grief, to slowly eat away at you? What will happen if anger or even rage is allowed to continue to rule you? So much of the person I am today is not because of the positive role models I had growing up, but rather the number of examples of who I did not want to become. So I started out my day doing a bunch of press for the book, and I was talking to a journalist this morning, and she was so sweet. She was like, "Oh, Rachel, I'm such a big fan. I love your books, and I gotta tell you, the tone in this one is very different." She's like, "It's not what I'm used to getting from you. It's a lot harder to read. It's a lot more serious, usually like a little bit funner." And she said, I don't feel like I'm going through anything hard. I feel like I'm actually, life's pretty great right now. And so I didn't really resonate with this one. And I was like, oh my gosh, don't read it. I'm going to keep saying this every time that I hang out with you guys. This book is not for everybody. This book is specifically for people who are going through something hard or have gone through something hard, and you're carrying baggage from that past experience. If you are having your best year ever, if you are killing it in life, go watch a musical, right? Go watch Legally Blonde. Just add more joy. Do some bend and snap. Just go there. This is definitely written specifically for people who are going through a hard season. And resilience is one of the greatest tools that I know of to hone. Do you know what that means? Like to hone something, to work with it, to become better at it, to sort of use it in your life. So many of the things that let's not say you, but so many of the things that many people wish that they had. You wish that you had more grace under pressure. You wish you were calmer. You wish you didn't sort of struggle so much with anxiety. You wish your mind didn't race. All of these things and millions of others you have to work on. It's why for those of you who are into therapy, like I'm into therapy, you know that you might talk to your therapist about something and end up working through it for like 6 months. Maybe some of you even longer. It's not a quick process. It's a practice. It's not something that you flip the switch and sort of get it overnight. Someone just said, what's the name of the book? Didn't see that coming. It's called Putting Life Back Together When Your World Falls Apart. I wrote it specifically for quarantine. I wrote it. It's something that you'll be able to read 5 years from now, but I specifically wanted something that spoke to those of us who are walking inside of, anyone not in New Zealand, right? New Zealand killed it, right? They figured it out. But everybody else, this is the book that I wrote for you. So let's talk about resilience, guys. Let's talk about tomorrow on the podcast. I want to tell you, because I did this just for you. For those of you who were with me last week live, we were talking about the idea of everything feels hard. So I said, hey guys, what feels difficult right now? And like 500 people said everything. Everything feels difficult. I was getting it in DMs, I was getting it in notes, I was getting it in comments. Rach, everything feels hard. So tomorrow's podcast, Rachel Hollis podcast, if you've never listened to it, tomorrow's podcast is just for you. It's 45 minutes of me teaching on what to do if everything feels hard. And I'll tell you, here's just a little thought process, because this is resilience in action. If everything feels hard, and give me like a thumbs up or a heart if everything feels hard right now in your life. Like everyone give me that, right? Here's the first question to ask yourself. Is everything hard right now? Or does everything feel hard right now? Because those are two completely different things, and both of them have tools for how to help you feel better. But until you identify which one it is, you're not going to know how to improve it. There are absolutely seasons of our life where everything is actually hard, where you're not sure how you're going to pay rent this month, where you're worried about your job, where someone you love is sick, where there are true hardships, everything feels hard. And then there are also seasons where when you take stock, my favorite way to do this is in a journal. You sort of write it all out, all the things you're feeling. You allow yourself to process the feelings, and you take stock and you ask, is everything hard? And you're like, well, I'm not a millionaire, but I got some money in the bank. I've got food in the fridge. Everyone I know is healthy. I've got a job. Yeah, I wish I had these things, but honestly, those are things that I want to have. Those aren't things that I need to have. And actually, it's not actually hard, but it does feel hard. And something feeling a certain way may as well be, it's reality. If something feels a certain way to you, whether or not it's true, it is true to you. But until you know which one it is, it's hard to figure out how to kind of pull it apart and do the work that you need to make yourself feel better. So tomorrow, I don't know enough, but I think that's a rude comment. Ugh. That felt like an inappropriate emoji creation, so if that was just someone who really likes fruit salad, then sorry that I just banned you from the video. Anyway, tomorrow on the podcast, I dig into that. So you guys want to check that one out. Podcast is always free. Lots of information in there. Be sure you subscribe while you're in there so you get a notification every time that we post a new episode. But last week I talked a lot, and this week, today, I would love to dig into questions, specific things that I can answer that might be helpful for you guys. So let's have it. Yeah, lots of people saw me inappropriate comments. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because honestly, I never know. I am not cool. My teenagers are constantly correcting, like I'm saying stuff, and they're like, Mom, that's not how we say it anymore. I'm like, well, okay, I tried. How can we introduce, such a good question, how can you introduce the concept of resilience to kids? So look for things that already exist in your kid's life and use it. This sounds so silly, but like use it as a learning moment. So for instance, my second son is really into sports. He loves sports. He plays all sorts of different sports, and we're in playoff season for him. He's in 2 different sports. He plays flag football and he plays baseball. And we are in the midst of playoffs for both of those. And on Saturday, his team got out of the playoffs. And that's a super bummer. They worked really hard. Their hearts were in it. And honestly, hope none of them are watching, but the other team was just better. They were a better team. And when you're driving your kid home from something like that, that's always hard. It's sad. They're disappointed. And my thing is like, okay, but you know what? Next time, now number one, now you know what you need to work on. Now your team knows what they need to improve. And also, next time you know how, like if this happens again, because this week he has baseball playoffs. Lord, please don't let him lose baseball playoffs, you guys. He wants that one so bad. But if for some reason he doesn't make it through baseball playoffs, then we get to go back and think about football. Hey, remember you were really disappointed about football and that was a bummer, but you're okay. And we have next season and there's a way. And also there's so many lessons in all of these moments, because I do think it's really important to, don't roll your eyes at, I'm going to sound cheesy for a minute, but it's also important to remind your kids, like, yeah, you know what? That sucks that you guys didn't win, but like, how awesome for that team. They worked really hard and today was their day and look how joyful they are. And that's going to be you. Someday that's going to be you. I mean, I'm talking about my kid, but this is for adults. How often are you comparing yourself to someone else's success and you're feeling negative emotions? You're feeling bitter, you're feeling angry, you're feeling jealous. And even if you don't want to admit it out loud, you're feeling it in your heart. You see that and be like, you know what? Good for her. Good for him. Someday that's going to be me. See someone else's success as an opportunity to inspire yourself, right? Like, oh man, okay, that's what it's going to feel like. And that's how I'm going to cheer. And that's what it's going to look like to experience this moment. These are incredible opportunities, and resilience has like all of these different tentacles. You got to find the one that works for you. There are times that I can motivate myself to get back up after failure because I'm inspired by someone else. There are times that I motivate myself to get back up after failure because I'm angry, right? Who's ever done that? Where you're like, maybe it's anger at a situation. Maybe it's angry that you're back here. You made this stupid mistake again. Maybe it's angry that, why does this have to be so hard? Speaking truthfully, I know I have other entrepreneurs on here. This year has been a kick in the teeth. Maybe not all businesses, but small businesses like mine that depended on people being able to get together, our revenue came from live events that we can't do anymore. And it feels like a million times this year where I'm like, okay, we figured it out. We pivoted, we did it. And then something else, you get sucker punched in a different way. There are times I motivate myself through anger. Like, mother, I can't believe we're pivoting again, but okay, let's go, right? There are times that I am finding my way to sort of pull myself back through holding my dreams sort of in front of me and remember where we're going and focus on this thing, right? I try everything. And at different times in your life, guys, you're going to have to pull from a bunch of different places. So whatever you need to do to get yourself to go again, do that thing. It looks like different things for me at different times. I love this. Someone just said, this has been a rough year, but I will never give up. You better know Debbie McIntyre. I like that name. That's the thing. Really, for real. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether you're trying to be an awesome stay-at-home mom or trying to run your business, or you're trying to be an author, podcaster, influencer, whatever it is you're trying to do, hear me right now. 90% of success is staying in the game. 90%. You being willing to show up in your race, in the journey that you have set for yourself, you being willing to show up even when you don't know how in the heck you're going to get there, even when you feel like you're getting the crap kicked out of you, even when you're scared, even when you're unsure, like you being willing to show up even in those times and staying in it means that you are still in it when thousands of people have given up, millions of people have given up, so many people have stopped going. And life man, life will show you again and again and again all of the reasons why you should quit. Life is just filled with all of the reasons that you should quit, and they are available to you at any time that you want to open the internet or look at social media. There are so many examples of all the reasons why you should give up. And the only thing that's going to keep you in it is this. It's not going to be the stuff you see. It's not going to be the things you read. It's going to be this desire in your heart. And are you going to fan the flames of what's happening in your heart? Or are you going to let fear be the thing that distracts you? If you are just joining me, we are talking about Didn't See That Coming. It's my new book. For the last weekish, a little over a week, I've been taking people through chapters in the book. If you want to book club this, the Target edition has questions in the back that I wrote that you can fill out, one for every single chapter, so you can take a deep dive. If you like audio books, I narrate the book. If you don't have a book, don't worry. Borrow one from your sister, get it from the library. This is specifically a book for people who are going through hard seasons. If you want to know how to achieve a goal, read Girl Stop Apologizing. If you want to come and have some peace about being a mom, read Girl Wash Your Face. But if you are going through a hard season or have gone through a hard season, this is the book for you. All right, let me answer another question. I got about 4 more minutes. I went off on that because I loved that question about teaching resilience to your kids. We're talking about resilience specifically, and what it means to withstand or recover quickly from difficult situations. Someone just said, going through the hardest season yet. I wish I could give you a hug. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't know you, and I don't know the context of what you're going through, but you are strong enough. You are freaking strong enough. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to know how you're going to get there. Just stand back up. Just stand back up. Just stand back up. Okay, questions. Oh, someone just said you're going to buy it for your wife for Christmas. Thank you, I appreciate it. But also, this book does not have the word girl in the title. Very specifically, it's not written just for ladies. So feel free to buy it for your wifey and then read it for yourself before you give it to her. Watch out. Okay, let's see. Reading this. How do you keep your energy up? I just feel passionless and emotionless. Oh, my friend, where do we start? Okay, let's get this 2 ways. The last topic I'm going to talk about, y'all, we're going to talk about how do you keep your energy up? 2 ways. Number 1, let's talk about just really tactical stuff. So much of the energy that you have in your system is based on how you are taking care of your body. I know I am a broken record, but the reason I keep saying the same thing to you guys for years and years and years is because it's true. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating foods that bless your body? I don't believe in diets. I don't believe in restricting, but I do believe in eating foods that give you energy, and eating foods that don't upset your stomach or give you inflammation. And in order to know what those are, you're going to have to do your research. There's so much information on the internet for free, and you're also going to have to kind of test it, right? So you're going to have to try stuff. See, how does that make you feel? Oh, that actually made me feel really good. Okay, I'm going to try this thing now. Like, this is so, I'm going to nerd out for 1 second. Bear with me. Y'all know I've been having a green smoothie forever and ever. And lately I've been, all of a sudden in the last month, I started to experience a lot of inflammation in my body. I'm nerding out. Stay with me. Started to experience a lot of inflammation, which is not like me. And I thought that I was getting cedar fever. If you live in Central Texas, you know what cedar fever is. If you don't, lucky you. I thought I was getting cedar fever, and then I realized it's way too early for that. So I'm like, what is going on? And someone told me, I was actually talking to Dave Asprey. I got to interview him for the podcast coming up soon. But I was talking to him, and I said, man, I don't know what's going on. I eat really clean. I eat the same food. I'm not changing up my diet. Something's up. And he said, walk me through your day. And I was telling him all the thing, and he was like, dude, half your diet is almonds. And it is. I eat so many almonds. Almond milk, almond butter, almonds. It's literally half my diet. And I was like, yes, it is. For many years, I love almonds. And he said, well, just see, do a test for me. He's like, give it a week and try coconut milk as the base for your smoothie in the morning and don't have almond butter. And just see if you feel better by cutting down the amount of almonds that you're taking in. For a whole lot of reasons, it's a whole, well, I'm not going to go into it, but there's a whole thing with plants and it's fine. I feel so much better. So much better. Just by cutting the amount of almonds I was eating in half. Now, that seems silly, and maybe you're like, Rachel, I don't care about you and your almonds. It's not about the almonds. It's about what are the things in your life that you are unconsciously taking in that are hurting your body, that are making things hurt, that are making you feel sluggish. So pay attention to your nutrition. Now, those are practical things. I almost forgot the last one. Every single day you got to move your body for 30 minutes every single day. If you haven't tried out my Rise app, it is literally a fitness app for people who hate fitness. It is a space that brings joy to movement. We believe you come as you are. We don't care what you weigh. We don't want you to lose weight. We just want you to love yourself and celebrate your body. And we have tons of instructors who are doing that every single day on the app. You can try it for a week for free. It's called the Rise app. It's in the App Store. You don't have to do the app. Just move your body for 30 minutes every day. One of my favorite quotes about energy is from Brendan Burchard. He says, the power plant doesn't have energy. The power plant makes energy. You have to generate energy in your body. So those are some practical, tactical things you can do to feel more energetic. The other thing that you can do is have something. You say you're passionless. I can't even imagine. What do you need to have passion in your life? What do you need to get excited about? Who do you need to consume? What do you need to watch? What are the videos you need to watch on YouTube? Every single day of my life, every single day I wake up, 4:30, 5 a.m., somewhere in there, I grab my coffee and I open up my phone and I watch motivational videos on YouTube. I watch, you know who I'm gonna say, I watch The Rock. I watch, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. I watch, the Mulligan Brothers. I watch, if you know who, there's like a handful of you are like, what? But some of you know what I'm talking about. There's old videos of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, like anybody. Will Smith has an incredible YouTube channel. There's so many inspiring people, and they're like these 10-minute clips. So I have a cup of coffee and I watch one, and it's just, I'm literally starting the day. I'm not even letting my own mind have any say in what is happening in the morning. Because I found in 2020 that I would wake up and my mind would start racing with like, oh my gosh, cash revenue, what's happening with the team? How are the kids? And my mind would race. And so I was like, no, I am in control of this. This is not in control of me. So every single morning I open up YouTube, cup of coffee, I take 15 minutes and I just watch something inspiring. So I am starting my day having someone speak into my life. And yeah, it's like a random motivational celebrity, but it sets the intention for this is who I choose to be. If you don't have passion, ask yourself who you're surrounded by. We become we are a combination of the 5 people we hang out with most. And if you are lacking passion, if you don't have drive, if you don't feel motivated, who are you spending time with? I'm not telling you to cancel all of your friends and stop hanging out with your family members, but you could make sure that you are consuming media, that you are reading books, that you are listening to podcasts, that you're listening to sermons, that you're doing something that fills your spirit with the kind of information that you want. And you're like, yeah, okay, Will Smith, talk to me about possibility, right? Okay, The Rock, put that chain around your neck and do a push-up, right? You are in control. And if you do not intentionally choose what you feed your spirit with, the world will do it for you. So those are my thoughts on energy. Last thing, didn't see that coming. It's a new book. I'm going to be here tomorrow and Wednesday. Those are the last 2 days of book club. If you want to join me, we're going to talk about some more, I hope, practical, helpful things. If you want to see all the other episodes of this, they're on IGTV. That's it, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. I am off to 10 million meetings. So I love you. Make sure that you show up in the world as the person that you want to be, not